City volunteers distribute cash cards to help residents affected by floods in Maryland. A fire broke out in Taipei City with its cause still under investigation. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. At the end of May this year in the U.S., there were huge floods in Maryland. City volunteers immediately started hot meal distributions, and 2 weeks later, a mass distribution of cash cards and blankets followed to help survivors get back on their feet.
On May 27th, the Frederick Avenue corridor was hit by flash flooding. Over 120 homes were hit. Most people did not have any forewarning, and so a lot of those homes had what we would consider major damage.
For the past 2 weeks, to understand what we can help, so we come here to do the relief, to provide financial aid to those clients.
When you look and see you got 2 feet of water, you panicking, trying to get up high. And I was just so afraid, me, my husband, my son, and my nephew. And I didn't even know what to expect when I got here. And then when they helped me and just give me everything I need to get back everything, it's just a blessing.
We lived in a basement apartment, it's all gone. This money will help us definitely pay for a hotel for another week, so it's all good.
Thank you. We need clothes. We need clothes bad. You know, get my daughter her clothes and stuff that she lost. Try to get myself something also. And let's go from there. Once we had the flood, everybody came together. This is what it looks like now, after the flood. And it was finished down here. There was a bedroom. A lot of people don't know that when we go through stuff like this, a lot of times we just really need somebody to talk to, you know, somebody to give us an encouraging word to help us. And she did that for me today. I did get a bank from Tzu Chi though. I know I won't have a lot to contribute, but every little bit helps.
Last year in Portugal, 280,000 hectares of woodland was swallowed by wildfires. City volunteers in Europe and the United States once again traveled to sow the seeds of love, train local volunteers, and return to Tondela for another distribution.
Tondela has a high percentage of farmers, so the fire destroyed many farmlands and households. The villagers relied on their life savings to rebuild their homes because they no longer had a stable income. Back to Tondela to finish the rest of the distributions, this time equipped with 5 freshly trained local volunteers. Master Zhen Yan's condolence letter, the local volunteer read out loud for the crowd.
Casas, fazendas, celeiros e silos dos agricultores foram engolidos pelas chamas e estes precisaram de ajuda.
The distribution list came from the border of Tondela, and the information wasn't complete, so many of the affected villagers missed the first distribution. On top of that, they had no time to apply for subsidies from the government. Thankfully, local volunteers went back to do some home visits and did not give up on any survivors. The volunteers handed out cash cards and eco-friendly scarves filled with Tzu Chi volunteers' best wishes. The city government team also arrived at the service and was touched by the loving spirit of volunteers, which reversed the previous doubts about Tzu Chi. The emotionally distraught woman turned out to be the mother of one of the initial volunteer translators. The truth has been uncovered. The local volunteer was trying to keep up with the other volunteers, so he did not mention any of his own family struggles. Praying sincerely, the power of great love uplifts the survivors' spirits and helps them get back on their feet. Everyone's hands are up high and feeling the warmth and care from the volunteers.
When Tzu Chi held rice distributions in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, the local volunteers were the biggest helpers. They had all attended the volunteer training classes and understood Tzu Chi's great love spirit. Being able to help their fellow countrymen, they all felt honored.
Today is a big day for our volunteers. We typically gather in Champ de Mars because it's the easiest spot to meet up. We all come from different areas. We are gathered together to serve the people who are in need. I've started reading books from Master Zheng Yan, and this has changed my mentality. I now have the spirit of sharing and helping my fellow brothers and sisters. My personal motivation for joining Tzu Chi is to see the Haitian people finally have the same values of love and compassion for one another.
We are unloading the rice now, laying it on the ground. We are going to organize it to start the distribution. They are training us to be more organized in event planning and preparations. We are strong. We want to help the local population. We want to help the nation.
We are serving the population. We came here to give them rice to eat because it's meaningful and much needed. I really enjoy the experience of helping others. This is why I have been an active Tzu Chi volunteer over the years.
As a volunteer, we are giving rice to our own people. You can imagine, I'm very happy to help out with the event today. It has had a huge impact on me. Before, I wouldn't have noticed when someone was in need, but now I feel happy to be able to be aware and help those who are really struggling.
We really appreciate all of you. I'm sending a huge thank you to Master Zheng Yan. Taiwanese people can and help a lot of vulnerable people here in Haiti. It is quite amazing.
I feel really good. I'm with my own people. I came to support them and I'm really proud. I've never tired. If Tzu Chi calls me and tells me, Sandra, we have a rice distribution to do, I would say, anytime, I'm always ready to come help the City Soleil community.
90-year-old physician Yang Sibiao is the former superintendent of National Taiwan University Hospital and also the first dean of the Department of Nursing at the University of Science and Technology. His specialty is an ability to interpret chest x-rays and use the most cost-effective medicines to treat patients.
In this research office, 98-year-old Yang Sibiao, former superintendent of National Taiwan University Hospital, is studying case files.
After the hospital sends it, I print the case and give it to Dr. Yang to examine.
After collecting and editing these special cases, they will become precious teaching material for future generations of chest cardiologists.
In the morning after eating, he comes here.
If it wasn't mentioned, you wouldn't know that his life represents 100 years of Taiwan's medical history. Born in the 1920s during the tuberculosis pandemic, Yang Sibiao also contracted tuberculosis at the university, and since then devoted himself to the study of chest diseases. He set a number of firsts in Taiwan, such as since ROC retrocession, he was the first to investigate black lung disease amongst Jingguashi miners. He also diagnosed the first lung cancer patient in Taiwan in 1957. When the Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center began, he not only assisted in the planning, but also led students on medical missions in remote areas. In 1989, Yang Sibiao retired from the role as superintendent of National Taiwan University Hospital and took up the responsibility of being the founding director of the Department of Nursing at TCUST.
In the process of interviewing him, he actually had one thing that I admire. It's like the sincerity and kindness of an elderly doctor. By looking at a lot of materials, I was able to find that he made a large number of achievements, including that after he retired from NTU, he spent many years in Hualien. He is very humble and doesn't revel in his achievements, as he believes that others work even harder than him.
Someone who continues to seek the truth to help others, Yang Sibiao didn't want to enjoy his retirement, instead traveling to Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital each week to teach students how to read chest x-rays.
We usually call him Grandpa. He's the first one to pioneer thoracic medicine in Taiwan, and he even founded the Society of Thoracic Medicine, and he is like the godfather of this specialty.
Though he is quite old, he still insists on passing down this knowledge to young doctors. Though much of the medicine is digitized now, chest x-rays continue to play an important role in diagnosis.
X 光片判读非常重要，主要是第一个，就它非常便宜。
X-rays are important because they are very cheap and can provide a lot of information, such as the condition of the bones, heart, and lungs. So it is an expensive and informative diagnostic check.
的情况，所以它是一个又便宜，又能够提供很多资讯的一个检查。
There are two common types of chest examinations: CT scans, which are computer-aided, and traditional chest x-rays. Each has its own advantages and disadvantages. X-rays only take a photo of the front and back of the chest and are one-dimensional, showing only 70% of the chest. This means a doctor has to be skilled and experienced in reading a chest x-ray. CT scans can take some 200 photos in rapid succession and offer a complete 3D view with strong diagnostic power. However, the cost can be 10 times as much as the amount of radiation generated by CT scan is also quite high. Using the two in conjunction with one another is the best diagnostic tool, though chest x-rays are often the most basic check in remote areas where resources are limited.
这张啊，我们老医师看的这稍微暗的，这样的哈，就背了，心脏可以看到了哈，心脏有没有大？ 还好啊，这个线代表这个 left ventricle 有大，我们看起来有大，所以有 hypertension。
Sometimes we only focus our attention on the location of the illness. Professor Yang will start by looking at the entire lung of the patient. He may have seen this disease before and will notice it and tell us. He has a really comprehensive view when it comes to diagnosis.
Actually, for every new student who comes to us, reading the X-ray correctly from the beginning is very important. We have to develop this skill step by step.
有一个，有tumor吗？看过。
He finds out these small details, and then we do a diagnosis to confirm our suspicion, and then classify the disease as he allows us to watch the whole process.
看过，问你啊，有看是什么？怎么解释呢？那个一个 tumor。
He has more experiences than us, and I think that this is quite a good lesson for him to pass down to us.
He regards medicine as a responsibility rather than a job. His spirit is really worth studying.
Yang Sibiao believes that goodness, truth, beauty, and modesty should be virtues that guide medical doctors.
所谓减那个部分，他就是觉得说，不要过度的去浪费那个医疗资源。
When it comes to exams, he believes that we shouldn't waste medical resources. Professor Yang can make a diagnosis from a simple front and back chest x-ray. He asks us why we need to waste resources on photographing the disease with CT scans.
In this advanced technological era, it might be strange that practical skills are also needed, as Yang Sibiao teaches the younger generation tips on how to succeed in becoming a good doctor.
A fire broke out on June 13th near Heping East Road in Xinyi District, Taipei City. A 3-floor Shimedo temple caught fire and took the lives of 3 people. City volunteers went to assess the affected residents' situation and distributed emergency funds and clothing.
The excavator is digging the ruin while firefighters sprinkling water to put out the fire. The burnt sheet metal building continues to collapse, and the rescue team suspects that there are still people trapped inside.
She lives in Tzu Chi, and she brought her grandchild to visit me. I already prepared myself to accept the fact.
Many survivors prepare for the inevitability that their family members might not be able to survive as they waited desperately. The fire broke out around 8 o'clock in the morning of June 13 near the third section of Heping East Road. A 3-floor temple experienced a sudden fire, while many residents nearby escaped immediately when they heard the explosion.
Around 8 a.m. in the morning, I heard an explosion, so I ran out of my house and saw a lot of smoke. I heard it was a gas explosion. That's all I know.
The fire was put out within 2 hours. The firefighters found a dead body that might be a 76-year-old elder who couldn't be located. Mr. Huang's girlfriend and her grandchild were sleeping in the house when the fire broke out, and both of them were found dead. A 79-year-old senior went out to see the doctor, hence he luckily escaped the fire.
Most residents here are minorities and some with disabilities because it's cheaper here. Now we need to arrange accommodations for these 20 households.
The fire has spread about 10,000 square feet. The rescue mission is difficult because the house was built by sheet metal and there were plenty of firecrackers and gas canisters inside the temple.
We keep hearing explosions during the rescue mission. Also, the house collapsed very fast because it's built by sheet metal, which has endangered the safety of our rescue team.
3 people died in this fire. The affected residents are now living in a motel for the moment. Other than distributed emergency funds, volunteers also pick up secondhand clothes from the recycling station according to different needs of each affected resident, hoping to give them the most practical help.
In Taiwan, a residential apartment in Miaoli's Yongxing village caught on fire. The second floor burned down and caused the death of the house owner's oldest son. After learning about the news, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help clean up the aftermath.
The entire second floor was burned down with old furniture and items burned into ashes. Tzu Chi volunteers have mobilized to help clean up.
Thank you very much. I don't know how to express my gratitude in words since everyone has helped us a lot.
The affected house owner has 4 sons, and 2 of them have physical and mental issues. His oldest son died in the fire.
His oldest son was 27 years old, and he was physically and mentally challenged. He worked at the Dahu gas station.
He said he was unable to get out of the house while knocking on the window.
The Liu family, especially the house owner's mother, cannot overcome the pain of losing her oldest grandson. Tzu Chi volunteers have come to comfort this family and help them clean the environment.
I can't bear to see it myself. I think I can do my part to help people who are in need.
An 80-year-old volunteer who just underwent a surgery also came to help.
Although I can't do major things, I can at least help sweep the ground and organize things.
A young volunteer asked for leave to come help along with her father.
After witnessing these scenes today, I have learned to cherish my own blessings and always look on the bright side of life.
Working together to complete the task, each volunteer has experienced the joy of serving others as well as develop their spiritual growth.
In the United States, the Tzu Chi Great Love Preschool and Kindergarten in Dallas held a graduation ceremony for 18 graduates. At the same time in Los Angeles, although there were only 2 graduates at Tzu Chi Great Love Elementary School in Monrovia, its teachers and students were able to create an end-of-semester party.
The graduation and the semester-ending ceremony at the Tzu Chi Great Love Elementary School in Monrovia were like students' achievements events, where children share 近世 aphorisms and showcase their talents in different ways.
I like to go to school, especially when I'm not happy. When I go to school, I forget all the unhappiness. The school has given me a lot of unforgettable memories.
Each one of us is so unique and different. I will never forget each one of you.
Inviting their teachers to the stage, the two graduates served tea to the teachers to express their gratitude, as well as take a photo before leaving. In Dallas, the Tzu Chi Great Love Preschool and Kindergarten bid farewell to 18 students of the 8th graduating class. The teachers also expressed their blessings to the graduates' declared wishes.
And with us not being able to speak Chinese, they have learned Chinese so much, and that's one of the main reasons we brought them here.
Every day I send her to school, she always looks so happy. She also felt happy when I go to pick her up. This shows my decision to bring her to this school was right, because she now has 6 to 7 other mothers to care for her.
The mothers that the parents refer to are the same people whom the children are expressing their gratitude toward through singing.
June is graduation season, and there are many outstanding graduates that have caught our eye. One of them is Tzu Chi from Malaysia, who is a very independent martial artist. There's also a university graduate that has set out a goal to go into the media profession, while others get the chance to broaden their horizons in the UN Youth Internship Program.
然后另外一边是天涯比邻，它是有关于学生出国交流的资讯。
Introducing the history of the campus with an outgoing personality. This is what Niu Suping has been striving for long before she graduated. 4 years ago, she decided to major in media PR and strive to win the qualifications for government-subsidized status.
When I was attending school, I had many opportunities in building a foundation in the media PR sector, like being the dozens or shadowing multimedia volunteers. I wrote news reports and being in news articles. Due to my hard work, people believe in me.
Just as talented, 6th grader Ko Kien does great impersonations. She's also great at martial arts.
Ever since I was little, I never got the idea of helping one another. But then I came to Tzu Chi's elementary school, and I became acquainted with many different students. They were all so nice to me, saying hello and making sure I was taken care of. Being here really taught me about what humanistic culture is all about.
Tzu Chi's Educational Mission Department began to organize the UN Internship Program from 2017 onwards. Its good performance has emerged in the international community.
When I was participating in the UN Youth Program, everyone was very close in age. Many of them were already talented youth representatives of various international organizations. We saw that we needed to do more as youth, and we were eager to learn from their examples. It really motivated the Tzu Chi representatives to work harder and to aim higher in our goals.
Faced with life choices after graduation, these students have already set their aspirations way higher than their age suggests. They are not confused at all when it comes to what the future holds for them.
It is costly to care for PVS patients. To help PVS patients and their families, Genesis Social Welfare Foundation has held an activity inviting parents and children to attend. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.